So I graduated from McMaster University in 2009, and I got my honors Bachelor of Arts in Communication Studies. I am a real estate broker at LePage State Realty here in Hamilton, and I work on a team with both of my parents, which we make the O'Reilly team. In summary, I would say that as a real estate broker, I help people buy and sell homes. So I'll break it down a little bit more for you. So as far as the buying end goes, what I'll first do with a buyer when somebody contacts me saying I'd like to purchase a home is I sit down with them, I go over their exact criteria on what they're looking for. So that could be everything from the price range that they're looking in, the style of home that they're looking for, the location, everything that's on. I always ask, what's on your wish list? So somebody can say, I want hardwood floors, I want a chef's kitchen, I want pot lights, I want beautiful landscaping. Whatever it is, it's my job to then go and connect my buyers with the properties that match their criteria. On the selling end, a seller will typically call me saying, Luke, we want to put our house on the market. So the first thing I'll do is I'll hop on the MLS system. I'll pull off all comparable properties that have sold over the last year or so in the area, comparable houses to the one that I was going to go and look at. Then I'll go and tour the house, sit down with my sellers, go over what's been happening in that neighborhood, what's been happening with the market, and arrive at a listing price. And then, from there, just start marketing the property. What I can say about my time at McMaster is when I started here, I was very young. I didn't have any critical thinking skills whatsoever. I learned some interesting material that I don't necessarily apply to my day-to-day job at what I do now, but I did, out of the 4 years that I was here, I learned to think very critically, and that has helped me in numerous situations on my day-to-day job. I got into real estate because it's in my blood, I would say. Both of my parents have been sales reps for years, so I think it was only natural that I got into the business. Initially, when I graduated from Mac, I worked for a pharmaceutical company for about 2 years. I was doing contract work for them, working in head office, in sales as well. That was a great experience. I ended up then going and working in a completely different field for a total of 4 months. I worked in the metal recycling industry, so scrap metal. So I went from pharmaceuticals to scrap metal, and that was the absolute worst experience of my entire life, job-wise. It was awful, but it was also the best experience of my life because I had always toyed with the idea of getting into real estate, and then going and working at this company just made me realize how much I do not want to work for anybody else. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to work with my parents. I wanted to work in real estate. To get my real estate license initially, to be licensed as a sales representative, there are 3 or 4 courses that you have to take. Personally, it took me 4 months to go through those courses to get licensed initially, and you can take up to 2 years to get your license once you start the first course. Then from there, once you get licensed as a sales representative, you have 2 years that you article, and you have to take 3 big courses as well. You have to take a real estate law course, you have to take commercial real estate or residential, whatever one you didn't take in the first phase. And then there are a bunch of different, there are electives that you can take. I took real estate appraisal because I think that applies to what I do day to day the most compared to the other courses. Then once you're fully licensed, after the articling period has been done, after 2 years, there's a certain number of credits that you have to continually get. Every 2 years, you have to meet the minimum requirements. So there's constant continuing education so that the realtors in the industry are current and know what's going on. I absolutely love being in real estate, running my own business. Couldn't be better, never gonna do anything else. I'm in it for the long haul, I love it. Probably the biggest thing that I love with what I do is the relationships that I get to build with my clients. Relationships and friendships that personally, if I hadn't gotten into real estate, I don't think that I would have built these relationships or wouldn't have the opportunity to. I mean, you know, I can go over to some clients' houses, you know, an 80-year-old couple that I sold recently a house or a condo to them in Burlington. You know, I'll go and just pop by and stop in, have coffee with them. You know, they'll ask about my personal life now. I mean, we've become very good friends. Also, the properties that I get to see are really cool. I'll go into amazing, unique houses, custom built houses, $1 million properties that, you know, not a lot of people get an opportunity to go into these houses and see how people live. And it's amazing. So I love that aspect. I think that's a really neat part of what I do. One of the biggest obstacles that I have found as a young realtor getting into the industry is people not being able to take me seriously at first glance by just looking at my face. People have said I have a baby face too, so that doesn't help out, because some people will come into my open houses and literally ask me, are you even old enough to be selling houses? However, my time at McMaster and me getting my degree and having on my business cards and all of my print materials honors Bachelor of Arts after my name has made a huge difference. It's really bolstered my credibility, and I feel like once people have seen that on our print material and know that I have gone to such a reputable school and got my degree, I feel like they're a little bit more confident in dealing with me, and a little bit, they feel a little bit more assured that I know what I'm doing. So just the credibility of having my degree, knowing that I went to McMaster, has helped me, leaps and bounds as far as my career goes. Since I've got into real estate, I've noticed that there are not a lot of young sales reps in the business. Primarily, if you will come into my office, everybody's probably 50 years old and over, and a lot of the people have been in the industry for a long time and kind of, in my opinion, have a jaded perspective of how the real estate industry should be run. And a lot of them are really reluctant to change. I personally think that change is a good thing. There have been a lot of things that have been changing in our industry. There's been the emergence of other opportunities for consumers to get out there and make other choices. Also different mediums of communication, for example, which allow us to market properties a different way. I mean, things are constantly changing. I think that change is amazing and it can only help. If somebody's thinking about getting into real estate and you're still, in your undergrad or post-grad or whatever you're doing, and you're thinking about getting into real estate, I would say, perhaps trying to have some internship opportunities with different reps. A lot of sales reps do need some support. Personally, that's an obstacle that I find. I hate being, bogged down with paperwork, and I would rather be, out in the field selling, and sometimes I do need that extra support. So maybe there would be an opportunity where if you were to reach out for volunteering experience to, a realtor that does do a little bit higher volume that would need that support, maybe that would be a good opportunity for somebody. As well, I know there probably are some part-time opportunities at new homes. Some of the new home sites, they do need some assistance, as far as typing up offers, amendments, any paperwork that needs to be done. I know there are some opportunities as far as that goes. Or even getting a job at a real estate office as, a receptionist, or just any kind of support. Any kind of experience in the real estate industry, if you can reach out to somebody and get some experience, I think it's only beneficial.